Hey yo, and welcome everybody. I'm gonna let CB explain book talk to everyone whilst I finish up my wing.
Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Book Talk with Sam and CB, or CB and Sam. I always get the order wrong. This series is where one of us introduces the other to a book that we like, so that at least one of us, when we get time to talk about it, has some defense of the project, or is able to show their love. This is a
Someone
series.
is always on the book side.
This is a series about like positives and like trying to like spread awareness of our favorite books, and not solely on critique, even though we do in fact critique the books.
The purpose is not to critique, but we are both writers, so that's
Yes.
gonna.
We alternate who gets either choice. Hopefully, we do around 2 streams a month, one choice for each of us. And yeah, this month, the second choice is Sam's choice, which is "Kiss Her Once for Me" by Alison Cochrun. Cochrun?
I think it's Cochrun.
Okay.
I always, because of my dyslexia, want to call it Cochrun because cochlear. There's so many missing letters for that to happen.
Even though it might be Cochrun.
There's no K, it's an H.
I know. That's why I was trying not to call it that.
Run, cock, run.
Which is you describe what the book is. It's your choice.
Yeah, that's my turn. Hold on. I gotta pull up our little book summary.
Oh, did you do like a quick Spark Notes version?
No, it's for the lower third. Apparently we don't have a Sam's pick one though, only a CB's pick.
I use the term Spark Notes to describe like an abbreviated version of something way too often, but this is the time it actually would, if you had a short summary of what the book was like, it would actually be a Spark Notes version of the book. I realized that recently.
So Kiss Her Once for Me is a holiday romance that follows Elizabeth. Sorry, I read a book right before this where the main character's
Eleanor.
name was Evie.
Her name's not Eleanor. Her name's not Elizabeth. Ellie.
See,
that's for you.
Many M's, so many like Elizabeth, Eleanor, Evelyn have been
are like a really common MC name, I feel like.
At the very least, it is in holiday books. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, so we follow Ellie, whom is like at the beginning of the book. She just got like her dream job working as an animator at this big thing, at this big animation studio, and it's a snow day. She snowed in Portland, and she meets the. What is she called?
Jack.
No, not Jack. I mean, yes, Jack's her name. But she says, what is the trope?
Butch? Manic Pixie Dream Girl?
Yes, she said, I will be your Butch Pixie Dream Girl or something.
She said, I'm not your Manic Pixie Dream Butch. She said, I'm not that, which I enjoyed.
Thank you. And they like meet in a bookstore because they're about to like go for the same book, and then they have a whirlwind romance over the course of a day. Our MC Ellie is demisexual, much like yours truly, and I felt it was written very well in a way that I could believe in her falling for this other woman so very quickly and being down to fuck so quickly. But then something happens that we don't know, and so throughout the book, we're going to be going through the present timeline, and then there's flashbacks to everything that they did during this day, how their like romance came to be, and then how their romance crashed and fell. Well, in the present timeline now, Ellie's life in the course of a year has gone to complete and total shit, right? Oh, the snow day was on Christmas. That is notable. So it has been almost a year later. Christmas is coming up again. Ellie now works now works as a barista at a hipster bar. Her boss is a bit of a dick, and she has two best friends. Only one she considers a best friend. The other is aggressively considered her best friend.
In an amazing way.
So I can see your side eyes.
What?
I said, I need you to scoot over here. I don't think I can switch where the lower third shows. I think it passes down the left side.
Oh, I don't have the little pop-up on my side.
Oh, on my screen, it was covering your face, so it could just be
there's nothing here for me. Feel lied to by our...
I'm gonna show you what it looks like, just so that you can see what it looks like.
Okay. I figure it's similar. Let's see if now it's up for me.
Oh, okay. So there's probably just a loading issue. All right.
Okay.
Technology.
We're not good at it.
We're good at it. There is nothing we did wrong that it didn't pop up on your screen. See, I knew that would happen, CB. I told you. I pulled my hair forward. It's in a high ponytail. I can't help but play with it. Oh yeah, she has lost her job at the animation studio, and for her, she's internalized this as she has failed, and she has a really big trauma around. Okay, the trauma isn't around
complex. She's a complex around it.
That's the word that I wanted. I'm like, trauma is not the word I wanted. All right, yes, she has a really big complex around failing, like a very toxic relationship with the idea of success and failure, which, as many gifted children know, there's like the layman's term is basically the big fish,
small pond, yeah.
Small pond complex. This is the first day I haven't had a migraine in almost weeks, and my brain has just we don't remember how to function. But yeah, big fish, small pond, which is basically the idea that when you're young and you're really good at everything and you don't really have to try very hard, and everybody always goes, oh, they're so gifted, they're so smart, they're so this and that, and you kind of internalize that as, okay, I'm good at everything and this is how I'm supposed to be. If I'm not good at it, then I failed. And then you get into the big pond with a bunch of other big fish from small pond, and suddenly you don't know what to do because now you have to work hard, and this means that you fail, that you're shit, right? And trust it sucks. You have to essentially learn that failure is okay, and that trying hard and working hard is actually the norm.
Yes.
So which it sounds so what's so elitist and stuff, but it's just one of those things where those are things that a lot of people learn when they're younger and when they're children, and so they're just learning it with everything else, when you've become intuitively the opposite of that, and then it fucks with you. So yeah, she's kind of got that issue. It's compounded by the fact that her parents, she perceived success as a way to get validation for being allowed to exist or having worth, because her parents her dad isn't around, he just left them, and her mother is very self-centered, very much uses her child as a means to an end. She only calls if she needs money or something.
Yeah, she's a narcissist as well. I'm pretty sure. Yes, no, I was listening to something else recently that called the mom narcissist. I'm getting my things tied. I was listening to something else that was like, and the mom's a narcissist. So I was like, no, it actually says she's a narcissist. No, she has other stuff.
No, it's like her mom does display a lot of narcissistic qualities. However, parents can be shitty and self-centered and like undeserving of their children and just use them as means to an end without actually being narcissists. So they're just shitty parents who shouldn't have had children. All children deserve parents, but not all parents deserve children. You heard it here on Writing Mom Sam. Or with Writing Mom Sam. But yeah, so like with all of that, she's in such a huge depressive funk, and she's been working really hard for this promotion. But what do you know, the day that she's going to ask her boss whether or not she gets it, she's late for the first time ever. Because the buses are late because it's been snowed in and stuff. And as previously said, her boss is a dick. So he uses this as the reason to deny her promotion. Also, while she's at work, our hot millionaire male lead comes in. I hesitate to call him. If there was a male lead of the book, he's the male lead. But
he's the most prominent man, but I don't think he's the male lead. Andrew, our boy.
If this were a straight romance, he would be the male lead.
Yes. But
he is the closest. I think for the first half of the book, he does have like more screen time than Jack.
Yeah, that's one of my things. Yeah.
So that's why I said if there was a male lead, he would be the male lead. And that's one thing I appreciate about this book is it very much for the beginning, it follows your typical like straight holiday romance, because with minus the fact that our opening scene was a very sapphic meet cute, right? But with this, Andrew's basically like, hey, you've had a shit day and your manager sucks, and even though I'm the landlord who owns this building, I'm not going to do anything about that because I'm a man and I have other motivations right now.
Also, he's the landlord, not the owner of the business. Like, they're two very separate things.
That's a fair point.
It wouldn't be like in his... he would be probably breaking some contract.
Like in fiction land. I feel like in fiction landia. But no, you are right.
You know, like, actually reality in contrast. And you're like, no, this is a story.
You're not telling me in reality this man could not use his like abuse.
That would be illegal.
No.
And that would be illegal. That'd be against the
law. Her best friend is just a lawyer.
Her best friend is not a lawyer.
Yes, she is.
Not yet.
Oh no. Well, okay. That I didn't look. She is a lawyer in training. She's going to school for it, which is more what I meant. Like, it's just my point was more that I was being facetious in the fact that like the law doesn't matter, even though like it very much does, because her best friend is her legal consultant.
Me tweaking out this entire book on like how much fraud is being like committed, but it isn't actually, because it's just that it's a marriage. But I'm like, I don't, to get the money, but I'm like, I don't think. Anyway, I was like, I think they're in the clear.
It does not say he has to stay married or that it has to be a marriage of love. It just says that he has to
be married. So. And I'm like, okay. Anyways, we don't.
They're following the letter, if not the spirit of the law.
You keep going, or I'm gonna start going on my tangents.
Us stop the book summary for a tangent. We've never done that.
No.
Yeah, so she goes with Andrew. She actually gets a little drunk. Andrew, like, basically tells her that his grandfather, who just passed away, is like a multi-millionaire, but he was a piece of shit and everything. And he like put into his will that Andrew can't inherit his $2 million trust until he gets married. And Andrew's like, I don't want to get married, because Andrew has got a lot of baggage surrounded because of his parents' marriage, because his dad is a piece of shit who's been cheating on his mom for years and years and years. And he hates how much it hurts his mother. And
my favorite character. I know we're not supposed to do favorite characters.
Catherine is amazing. I love her.
I automatically am a little bit in love with Catherine.
And you should.
Like, I think she would treat me well.
She would.
I'm like, I love the schedules. I love her. I love how much she cares about her family. Like, I'm a little bit in love with her.
I want to be Catherine. Like that is my goal in life, is that I want to ensure that I embody a Catherine-esque mother. But we will get to
marry a Catherine.
we'll get to Catherine.
Yeah, sorry. My girl.
No, you're
fine. My life.
Yeah, so basically Andrew proposes a fake marriage, which our girl kind of like walks into the idea, because she's like, anybody would marry you for, you know, like in general, but also especially for money. And he's like, anyone in this bar? Are you anyone in this bar? And she's like, I walked into that. But she at first tells him no. Sorry, it was bugging me. She at first tells him no, and then she's like, after a lot of drinks, to the point they get like blackout drunk,
yeah,
and wake up in bed with each other, like in their underwear, not naked. And she's like, the fuck happened? And they basically, through his pictures and Instagram,
and he remembers a lot more than she did.
Yeah, he remembers a lot more, but he doesn't remember everything. Mm-hmm. He remembers that they definitively did not sleep together, even though they
He's like, you were drunk, I wouldn't have sex with you. And I'm like,
yeah, he's like, I love her. And we're like, he's already a king.
I love Andrew.
The bar is
mom. Amazing.
The bar is low in these fictional.
But I'm so happy they did not have sex. Like, I'm so happy. I was like, oh fuck, they had sex. I was like, I don't, because
you go on. I just realized I didn't share this in the places I usually do.
I clocked kind of the whole plot. Like, I was kind of, I don't know. I like, or my guess was the plot for like it's gonna be one of her, like he's gonna be related to her and blah 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 blah. From the first time, like, oh, he moves his hair and it reminds her of Jack. I'm like, they're related. They're siblings.
They're related somehow. This is my time to lightly go on, which I know you know, and I know that you agree with this, but this is when I get on my little the soapbox of predictability and be like, predictability in fiction is not necessarily it's not automatically a bad thing, especially I would argue in romance books and like similar, like any cozy genre, or even some like horror, like tense genres and stuff. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, a lot of times it can actually be a sign of a well-written story, because they have placed all of the clues and everything for the reader to pick up on. And I think that Miss Allison, I'm trying to not refer to book authors as if they are my friend anymore. I'm going to say Allison just because we're not sure about the pronunciation. But I think she did an excellent job of foreshadowing so many things and keeping us in the dark about a lot of other things. Like, there's one thing that I for sure did not see coming in all of my things, even though like I kind of should have, because it's a little bit of a trope for holiday movies and books, but I still didn't. So
the fact that they didn't sleep together, I was very pleasantly surprised, because I thought they were going to go full in on messy. Like, it's a messy book, but it's an enjoyable messiness. I thought they were going to they sleep together or they actually get married. And I was so happy they didn't. It added the same level of drama without the extra drag of it. Or like the consequences. I mean, like, there is consequences, but like if they slept together, that would be different. Like, they kissed once, but like the fact that they didn't sleep together, like, you slept with my brother versus like you fake married my brother. As someone with brothers, if someone slept with my brother and then was like, I'm in love with you, I'm like, go fuck yourself. Or or like even sleeping with someone else. Like, but so I was so happy they didn't sleep together. And then also the level of like predictability, and then doing a, I'm not sure this is the right phrasing, but a kinder version of the tropes. Like it
Yes.
I think because the genre is more cozy, which is not really what I usually read, and I'll get into that later, but they did kinder versions of a lot of tropes that I was pleasantly surprised that I'm like, because tropes like that, if they did sleep together and we weren't reading this for a stream, I would probably put the book down. Like there's multiple tropes in here that I don't like a normal version of it, but the kinder version of it, I'm like, I'm okay with this. And part of the reason I don't like the normal version is because typically I feel you didn't need to go that far with it. And it just felt unnecessary. So doing the kinder version of a bunch of these tropes, it made the book much more palatable, which sounds like I wanted to like puke, but it made it more palatable as I read it. And that's my little TED talk. So you can keep going.
You're good. You gave me time to apply my mascara.
I was like, one day we should do like a get ready with me as I explain the plot of the book.
Look, I would love to do. we just start we would have to start like a new channel, or to just be like, get ready with me as I share the plot of the book I just read.
TikTok.
Yeah, we can do that.
TikTok.
Guys, stay tuned for the announcement of CV and me. Get ready with me. I know. I'm a treasure. Thank you.
Okay.
I have to remember where I was. Oh, yeah, because they didn't sleep together, and they like.
The napkin.
Yeah, they pieced together everything that happened. They have publicly announced on his huge platform that they are engaged. Her best friend, whom is studying for the bar exam to be a lawyer. So she is essentially, so long as I understand this, she has essentially finished her schooling for being a lawyer and just needs to pass the bar exam to like get her license and start her career as a lawyer. From my understanding, that is the final step. And so they're like talking about it and stuff, and her friend is essentially like, yeah, fraud on this level's fine, whatever. And she's like really, really supporting her doing this, but because her best friend's motivation is more like, maybe you'll fall in love with him and then you'll be happy again, right? Because she just wants
to be happy, and some mild fraud is worth it.
Yes. So like, which also, I love the friendships in this book. Like all the friendships are amazing. So much supportive girl power and stuff. Also, a lot of good representation in this book. We haven't mentioned it yet, but Andrew and Jack are half Korean American, half whatever the dad is. He's unimportant.
I think it's implied he's white.
Yeah. Well, yes. I just don't know if they like said what flavor of white he is.
Prescott, whatever.
The book doesn't go out of its way to be like, oh, this is a distinctly Korean thing most of the time. It's but they'll be like, they have like they have bibimbap. The mom is making meat to make bibimbap for everybody for things, and then Jack wanted to start a bakery because of this Korean pastry that she made with her mom, and then she started making other things. And like I believe there are a couple traditions that are like they're technically both American and Korean, but I think they are like bigger.
There are multiple cultures within the book.
Yes. And they do like make a couple jokes about it that like, yeah, like my POC friends would make these very same jokes and stuff. So I love the way that the representation was written in there. Also, Ari
is trans.
Ari is trans. I wanted to make sure I got the right name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ari is a trans woman and written very well.
She's cool. I like her.
We're not even like, honestly, we're not directly told Ari is a trans woman. We only know Ari is trans. Hold on, let me finish. We only know Ari is trans because, or a trans woman because she is always referred to as she, her pronouns, and she has a trans flag pin. So it's like, you're like, oh, do they straight up say it?
Well, it says that she's trans a couple times. Yeah.
My bad.
But like, she's not. She's described. She's not. It's less of a thing that I see nowadays, or at least in my own experience, that I see nowadays. But there is an issue with when you're writing a trans woman, and I'm guessing it's also trans men. But I don't. I actually, honestly, have not read.
Yeah, I haven't seen a trans man in it.
But when like describing a trans woman, it's like tall, broad-shouldered, like jugular,
jawline,
very masculine. It's like what? And I'm like, yes, trans women look like that. Cis women look like that. Women can just look like that. Like hell, even Jack is very masculine features. A lot like from a base description of like a swimmer's build. But having I don't think that with Ari that was given.
Also, for anybody who doesn't know, swimmers builds are like the most Dorito of all builds.
Oh my god, swimmer's build is so sexy. Although, yeah, I mean, yeah, not an although, but it's definitely described as a more masculine swimmer's build than a swimmer's build is pretty giant shoulders, tiny
I was
waist.
about to say the swimmer's build on its own is more masculine leaning because it is so Dorito.
Yeah, because of the shoulders and chest, which so here for. Anyways, sorry, now I'm just thinking about Captain America.
We're not talking about America's ass. Oh.
We're not talking about America's tits. Anyways, yeah, I thought the descriptions of like really everyone in this book was really well done. Although a lot of them are kind of vague. Other than like Jack, a lot of the descriptions in this book of people were vague, which I thought it was kind of odd considering like artists and like being so enamored. But then having that juxtaposition, go me for saying that right on the first try, of Jack's description being so intimate and intense versus the kind of like, here's a couple lines for everyone else. And everyone else's descriptions is more like a feeling and a vibe, where Jack's is like, we're talking about freckles, scar, hair, boom, 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 boom.
From my experience, it's really common in a lot of romance books. I wouldn't say throughout, like I wouldn't say it's a 50-50 split or anything like that, but it's like, it is so common to the point of like when you meet the first character with a full description, it's like, oh, that's the love interest. Like that's the running joke, and it like cross genres. Like, it is more what I mean. I mean, not just like in the romance genre specifically, but just like with romance plot lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no matter how descriptive all the other characters are, the love interest is going to hit.
It's gonna
so much more description.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to go in mine.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have to go in and skim down a couple like very just kind of random NPCs that I kind of went off on what they look like. There's a random guard in like chapter 5 where I'm like, I wrote a paragraph of what you look like because in my head you're really interesting. You have like 4 lines, but I could write a book about you. And I'm like, I need to tone it the fuck down on this random dude.
That's gonna be like a fourth of my critiques now. Just do we need all this?
We don't need to know how mischievous he looks, but he looks mischievous.
Right, hold on. Back to the book summary.
Okay.
I'm trying to do. I gotta go faster so that. Yeah, so she goes with Jack. Part of their like agreement is that she goes spend Christmas with his family. And at first she's like, this is fine, because her idea of family is really shitty parents and nobody gives a fuck, right? No matter how much you want them to give a fuck. Well, she goes there and turns out like most of his family.
A delight. An absolute delight of people who I love very much. I suspect his grandmothers, I don't know if they're just really close friends or they're in love, but either way, I love them.
Right? Like, okay, I too got the, okay, let me run down. So everybody who is going to Christmas is, Jack or Andrew and Ellie.
Ellie.
Just really want to call her Evie, even though I know her name is Ellie. And there is such a focus on when Jack calls her Elle, and that she's all like, oh, and she says that letter. But I just really want to call her Evie.
Another.
All right, so yeah, Andrew and Elle, and then there's their mother, Catherine, and then the two grandma-in-laws, which
Nana and
Meemaw. Meemaw is incredibly Southern, and then Nana had a hip thing, and she's just always high now. She's just like perpetually high. And these two women, like, so Meemaw is the ex, and then Nana is the widow.
Yeah.
Right? But they're like the best of friends, because at first she's like, they don't like hate each other or anything. He's like, no. And I'm like, they're madly in love. I
thought one of the reveals was going to be they're actually like poly, and it was the two of them and the grandpa, and they're like, oh no, the grandpa's a dick. And I'm like, oh,
yeah, no, the grandpa's
the two of them.
No, for me, I'm like, I think what we're supposed to get, just because it doesn't say it, is that these two women just like bonded over being married to the same shitty motherfucker, and they're like best friends for life. But I'm like, it's really giving two old spinsters who were just roommates together. Like,
yeah, it's giving.
Especially when Meemaw's all like, she hasn't been the same since the hip surgery. She's always high. She's always right there. So
I love them. Yeah.
Maybe it's a case of, because they are an older generation, they are quietly together.
Yeah, either way, I love them and want to be them.
The father, so I believe they are both Catherine's mother-in-laws. Like, I don't think either of Catherine's parents.
Yeah,
so they're both the paternal grandmother.
I think Catherine's parents aren't involved in the story at all.
Yeah. So that's who all's there and stuff. And then, like, as they're there, Andrew has exclusively referred to his sister as Jacqueline. And but as they like start talking about more details about Jacqueline, Elle is slowly piecing together, well, actually very quickly piecing together that it's the same Jack. And then Jack like shows up with their non-binary bestie, Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew's always weird when Dylan's mentioned. It's pretty easy to clock something.
Oh yeah, from the beginning. They're like, and the friend, Dylan. And I'm like, okay, so you're in love with Dylan.
Right? I'm like, sir.
First time Dylan mentioned, I'm like, oh, thank God, that's our side couple. Because I want Andrew to be happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how we end up with him happy with like the first setup. And then as soon as Dylan's mentioned, I'm like,
Dylan is our pessimist. He's our like angsty. He's our angsty Edgar Allan Poe.
They are.
Yes, my bad. They are our angsty Edgar Allan Poe. Sorry, I said he because I was thinking Edgar Allan.
They're covered in tattoos and they're an elementary school teacher, which I think is phenomenal.
Immediately they are suspicious and jealous of Elle, and they're just like, why the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Why are you here? Why are you marrying this man? And yeah, according to Andrew, they've been together for 3 months and are now engaged, which Catherine immediately does does this whole mom guilt thing where she's all like, I've been such a busy woman. I didn't check in on my son. He didn't tell me about this girlfriend he got engaged to. And he's like, mom, chill.
Yeah.
I
love
me. I was a shitty son.
Yeah, the running gag of I had to find out through Instagram.
I love that.
It happened like 4 times, and I thought it was really, really funny.
The most like relatable part.
Yeah.
Well, not genuinely for me because none of my family uses social media.
Not family-wise, but I have found out like people from high school and stuff are full-on married from Instagram, which I'm like, we weren't that close, but it's still a weird thing, especially because I'm 22.
At least you could have sent me a text or something, motherfucker. But yeah,
luckily it's no one to like that level, but it's a few things like, okay, we used to be really close, and now it's really weird that I'm finding out this major development about your life through Instagram. But anyways, that's not on the topic.
All right, so yeah, they find that out. Jack pretends that she doesn't know Elle, so Elle pretends that she doesn't know Jack until they get like a moment alone together, and then they're kind of like, okay. First, Jack's like, "Are you stalking me?" Elle was like, "No, I did not know you two were related at all. He just calls you Jacqueline, and like, honestly, what are the chances?" And Jack's like, "Fair," and I'm like, "She has a type."
Well, also like her looking at Andrew and being like, "Oh, this reminds me of Jack," and I'm like, "Yeah, because they're siblings. They're gonna be siblings."
Yeah. And there's the plot kind of from this point, it's a lot of family bonding and romantic and slightly sexual tension between her and Jack. She finds out that Andrew has in fact slept with Dylan before. Well, like they used to date, they broke up, and then last year on Christmas, because Jack wasn't there to act as a buffer, they relapsed as if he's on drugs.
Yeah.
They relapsed and had sex together, and then he hasn't spoken to him in at least 6 months. It kind of implies he hasn't spoken to him since then. No, like Dylan hasn't spoken. They have not spoken to each other.
Okay, yes.
Since then. But Dylan said he hasn't spoken to him in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sentences were getting jumbled. So, no, 6 months. Dylan specifically was like,
"I don't hear from you in 6 months," and then you come back.
And whose fault is that? So
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so, and she's just like, "You are madly in love with Dylan, and you should probably deal with those feelings."
Also, like, why the fuck didn't you marry Dylan?
Yeah, like,
come on. Oh, you don't understand.
And this is when we find out that he has all that baggage, and like,
you heard what Nana said. I'm a hoe.
He essentially is just terrified that he would hurt Dylan so badly and lose their friendship, and like they mean so much more to him. So he's just like, "No, I cannot do this to him." And she's like, "I'll just wait until you figure out that relationships and monogamy are okay." And I'm all like, "Girl, look at the fucking mirror."
Like, girl, you do not have the right to give anyone advice on anything.
We find out that, all right, so from her perspective, she and Jack had the best day ever. The year before, the Christmas before, Jack went to go shower, and then she like goes, somebody knocks on the camper thing that Jack is living in because freedom, and you find out it's Jack's wife.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I told Jack to go have like a one night stand." And so our MCL is just like, "Oh, well then," and just fucking books it out. I will say, I don't enjoy the fact that by the end of the novel, it's kind of agreed that this is Elle's fault for not giving Jack a chance to explain.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I'm like, No, hiding the fact that you are married, regardless of whether or not your marriage is over, you're not legally divorced yet. That is a big thing. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't, like, I
Also,
am not
we still
obligated.
fucking live together. Like,
Yeah. Like, because I think the wife was coming home, right?
yeah, like you
Yeah,
still
so, like,
live
you still
together.
live together. It's
Like, yeah,
no.
you realize your marriage was over, but your marriage wasn't over. It was going to be over.
And apparently your wife was not yet convinced that your marriage was over. So, like, no, I am not obligated, regardless of my own issues. I am not obligated. You are not entitled to a chance to explain things. Like, no, that's I 100% am with Elle on that. Like her actions. Like, no, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Also, that Elle, I think, and this happens a lot with romance books and stuff, where the MC, I think, is held to a higher standard and is punished more for some of their very understandable decisions. Or, like, because also later, she's keeping the secret. Like, she's like, we should tell Jack. She does not tell Andrew why she wants to tell Jack, just that she wants to tell Jack. She and Jack have a deep connection. It is a special connection. It was a quick connection. Andrew has been Jack's brother her entire life. Yeah. So, like, Andrew currently takes priority, in my opinion. And so, like, Andrew does not want to tell Jack this secret. And so, and even at some point in the book, she's like, it's not my secret to tell. Now, I do think she could have told Jack, it's not my secret to tell, or it wasn't my secret to tell, and Jack still could have been upset. But I don't like the fact that they're like, oh no, this is Elle's fault for not explaining to Andrew why she wanted to tell Jack. I'm like, I don't agree with that. And this is not me saying that Elle has done absolutely nothing wrong, because Elle fucks up all the time. And, like, her best friend points out that she does need to deal with a lot of her, like, shit and her trauma and stuff. And she starts to heal. She starts to work toward it. I'm just saying there's some decisions that I'm like, no, that she's human. She did a human thing. I will say, oh, wait, sorry. I jumped ahead a little bit. She and Jack have, like, Jack's been into her, and they clear the air and everything, but then they're, like, still gonna be friends and stuff because she's still marrying Andrew. And then they, like, get stuck out in it. They're all gonna go skiing, and they get separated, and for various reasons, like, they see Dylan and Andrew making out, which I was like, oh, I fucking knew it. I knew he was gonna do that. And Jack's just like, I'm so sorry. You must be so hurt. And Elle's just like, I want them to fuck. I don't know.
Also, the fact that, like, Jack must be feeling kind of betrayed because that's also your best friend.
Yeah. Honestly, Jack should be pissed at Andrew and Dylan, not Elle. Which at first she is. Because of a lot of snow, and the truck gets stuck, and they end up in a neighbor's cabin. Like, the neighbors are holiday family friends, basically. And so they get stuck in that cabin, and they gotta, like, take care of each other, and then they have a slightly drunk, deep thing. And here's where the drunk sex comes in. But, like, it's less egregious because...
no, not, like, consent-wise. Yeah.
And stuff. And then, like, Jack's basically like, okay, so you're not in love with Andrew, and so you're into me, so I'm so happy that you're not marrying Andrew. And I was like, I didn't say that. And Jack's like, what the fuck? My brother cheated on you with my best friend, and you didn't seem surprised, and you're not in love with him, but you're marrying him. And honestly, at this point, this is when she should have been like, it's not my secret to tell, okay? It's like, ask your brother, and you know, all that. But no, instead, we're not doing that. And throughout this thing, so she had turned to webcomics. Elle had turned to drawing webcomics as a therapeutic hobby. Well, she wrote one called Snow Day, which was about their day, and then she's kind of been doing a like slice of life thing, the something of suck.
Yeah, the perpetual suck.
The perpetual suck, thank you. Which is just sort of like about her day to day, as you know, some webtoon artists do. And then she started one called The Arrangement, which was about her and Andrew's marriage arrangement. And of course, that one went fucking viral because romance readers.
Yeah.
We are the mainstream. And she actually gets an offer from an editor. And she's like so excited about this because the editor's like, hey, I like essentially she doesn't think the perpetual suck will do very well mainstream, but she does think Snow Day and The Arrangement will. So she's like, if like these get happy endings, like we can talk and we can do something with this. We'll get you agented. And she's like, yeah, cool. Well, they get back and so she immediately goes to talk to Andrew because she's like, Andrew, we have to talk, right? Yeah. And so Andrew's like, which I will give the boy credit. The first thing out of his mouth when they are alone is, I slept with Dylan.
Yeah, I love him, honestly.
He was like, I cheated on you with them. What do I do? And she's just like, I slept with your sister. And he's like, hold on. Wait a second. Okay. Explain how that happened. And then I love his mere reaction to Jack, which is, were you stalking my sister? And her being like, I swear, I fucking did not know. And he's like, okay. And then like they're talking and he's like, oh, did you tell her about the thing? And she's like, no, because you didn't want me to. And I love that he knows his sister and that he knows her flaws because his wording is something along the lines of my sister is really self-righteous.
Stubborn. I think stubborn, yeah.
Yeah, so like in this moment, he's not trash talking her. He understands this flaw of his sister and how this is an issue, and he wants his sister happy. So like they go out there and they're going to tell them. However, Jack had done some internet sleuthing and found the comic, and they all read the comic, and it hasn't been updated in a while because she like no longer wished to.
She's like, oh, this is really private, actually.
She's like, actually, this is super fucking personal now, and I kind of love all of these people. But everyone's feeling betrayed except Mima, because I should point out Mima already knew, because Mima's like, I know I'm Southern and therefore everyone thinks I'm stupid, but I'm really the most observant motherfucker here.
Yeah.
And I know that like you're the woman who broke my granddaughter's heart last year, gave her a chance to explain herself, and then she's all like, all right, so you have to decide between money, like a substantial amount of money, or love with your granddaughter. And she also, one thing I love about Mima is she does not judge Elle.
Yeah.
Regardless of what she will choose, because she understands how that much money could change Elle's life, because it could get her out of debt. Also, she's like been on the verge of losing her apartment.
Yeah.
That's like part of why she really needed the promotion.
Sorry if I missed it, but did you mention how the inheritance, they stuck around, the inheritance is for Jack?
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I did forget that. One of the things that she talked to Andrew about, because she was basically like, why don't we call this off? And Andrew's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, why do you fucking need this money? You're already rich as shit. And he's like, it's not for me, it's for Jack, because their grandfather was a huge dick. And when Jack was like, actually, no, I'm not going to go to college and let you control my life, he wrote her out of the will and just gave her part to Andrew. So they were both supposed to get $1 million, but instead Andrew's getting $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I was just gonna get married, inherit it, and then give Jack her $1 million, and then she'd never have to be hurt.
And then with the bakery, the safety net thing.
Yes, we've left out the bakery part. So as part of their like Snow Day thing,
there's a lot going on.
so many subplots. It's written so well, and they all like. But yeah, so with the bakery, Jack, she wants to be a baker and she wants to open up her bakery. She had actually, very Princess and the Frog style, had a warehouse picked up that she was going to renovate into a bakery. Had told Elle about this during their snow day together. And then Elle was basically like, yeah, you can totally do it. She's like, I believe in you. Your baking is amazing. And she's like, you bake so much, the smell of bread is just ingrained, very scent. And so Elle is the first person who's ever just unconditionally believed in Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody else kind of just Jack has ADHD, so she starts and stops a lot of things. It's kind of blamed a little bit on her ADHD, which is definitely like a symptom of ADHD, but I think it's also in part like no one's ever nurtured her natural interest in stuff. So and like basically once from Jack's point of view, they like had a really good day, and then Elle just disappeared and ghosted her. And so she was just like, I'm gonna start the bakery just to spite that bitch. The only bitch to believe in me. How dare she leave me? So she has had her nose to the grind, got a business loan and all of this. And like when her family criticizes her or is like, and what will you do if like it fails and stuff? And she's just like, oh, well, I have the trust fund as a safety net, which is why Andrew's like, I have to get her safety net for her. And but like when Elle tells her that that's why Andrew did it, she's basically like, no, I already knew Grandpa wrote me out of the will. She's like, I already knew I wasn't getting that money. And I'm like, and you did not tell anybody. Like, literally, you didn't tell Andrew, which I understand why you didn't tell Andrew. But like, at the same time, you can't use that as a, well, aha, you guys are doing this for nothing.
Yeah. I didn't realize that she was telling people she had the safety net, or she was just letting people believe it.
No, she like says it at the beginning, like at the beginning of like
when the fight in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because she did straight out say that, and then Andrew flinched.
Ah, okay.
Because every time somebody brings up her safety net, that motherfucker flinches. He has a terrible poker face.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of like, I don't know where I was going with that. So we're gonna go to a different train car.
No worries.
After, so she and Jack, they're dunsies for now. And she like goes home. Her best friend pays $1,000 to fly, gets there, and Miranda, our lawyer, not yet lawyer girl, she's all like cleaning the apartment. And she's all like, you live in the Depresso Espresso Dumpo. Okay.
Cleaning the apartment and also studying for the bar at the same time. The fact that she brought her notes, she's like, I'm actually going to fix your life while continuing my own. And I'm like, I love you.
I fucking love Miranda.
Yeah.
And so she's all like,
is her name Meredith?
Meredith? I don't know. I'm just like,
I don't fucking know.
I'm just like fucking bad with names.
I'm bad with names. I don't have anything else to give you guys.
It's either Meredith or Miranda.
Because she shortened it to Mare, I think. Like at one point there was
we're just gonna go with Mare. I'm like,
okay,
could be either. But the point was that she came there and eventually like, and she's all like, Elle's like, you've never failed at anything. How would you know? And she's like, no, I did. She's like, I failed my bar exam. And she was like, whoa, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, because you have a toxic relationship with failure. And I fucking figured I was going to fail it because most people fail it the first time. She's like, it is a notoriously difficult test. And she's like, but yeah, no. She's like, just because I failed once doesn't mean I give up. And she's like, which is what you do.
Yeah.
Which fucking everybody's like, you know, she's like, I got fired. I failed. And they're all like, you didn't get fired. You quit. And I'm like, it does not matter. She got fired. Like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Just because she like quietly quit doesn't mean that like the firing does not count.
Yeah.
But and so she like one of her first things of being independent and working is her mother like calls and she's all like, Mom, if all you want is money, don't call me, leave me alone. And so her mom and yeah, then Ari shows up with like coffee and stuff and
good.
Mare's all like, who the fuck is you? And Ari's like, I'm her best friend. She doesn't claim me, but I am. And Mare's like, well, I'm the best friend she claims.
Yeah.
And
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I keep wanting to like finish the description for you, like finish the summary. I'm like, and then this happened next, and I'm like, no,
it's fine. So then Ari's all like, hey, you can come live with me. We got a closet for you, Harry Potter style. And it's literally a closet.
But it has a window, so it's legal.
It does. It has a window, so she can get fresh air and first light. That's actually very important.
Yeah.
And they actually, like, she says, sure, I'll do it. So she moves in with other people, which at the beginning of the book, she got the same offer. And the idea of living with other people, like, she could not. She could not handle it. But, she has anxiety, like generalized anxiety. And Jack is great at handling it because Catherine has generalized anxiety. And so Jack's kind of like used to taking care of somebody. So,
or like even just used to not trivializing someone with anxiety's feelings.
Yes.
Just being like, yeah, okay, just like working with it, and I like that. That was I
love that, and I wanted to. That's why I was like, oh wait, let us. But so she, excuse me. So yeah, she moves in with Ari and their housemates because the idea of living with people now feels very comforting after staying with Jack and his family.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were like a really close family that did a lot of stuff together and everything, and like they weren't like glued to each other perpetually. They did like have times where like they spread out.
The corners is what my family calls it. Where
everyone goes and does their own things. Then when she's at Ari's, like they set her little space up really nice so that it's still like it's cozy, it's comforting, it's functional. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And Andrew, our dear boy, come. Which, by the way, Ari had come because Andrew had posted a thing that he and Dylan were together, and that she and him had ended their engagement amicably.
Yeah.
And so she's like talking to him, and he's essentially like, I feel like a dick because I just sort of abandoned you after everything happened. Like, but I didn't. He's like, I didn't know how to reach out, but I talked to Mima because she is the goat. And so I'm here now, and I still want to be friends. And she's like, I want to be friends with you too. And
I'm still going to give you $200,000 when I get married.
Yeah, he gives her money for now, basically like a bonus for everything she had to put up and go through, and a new contract that says whenever I do get married, you get the $200,000, no matter who I marry, because you went through this and stuff. And then they have a cute little thing where she's all like, how's your spouse gonna feel about that? And he's like, I don't think Dylan would care. And she's like, but then from that point, he's basically like, nobody hates you, right? He's like, my mom was mad, but then she kind of like realized the situation you're in, and now she just wants to know if she can send you tubs of food.
I know. Love of my life right there. She also divorces her husband because, sorry, can I say this?
Go ahead. You go ahead. You do that.
She divorces her husband because, like, she put up for him for fucking years. But when Andrew and Dylan get together, the husband is the fucking worst and fires Andrew. And Catherine's like, no. And then that's why she leaves him for her kid.
She also didn't know about the apartment with.
She also didn't know that she was being cheated on, which apparently everyone else knew, which is rough.
I think she was just in denial.
She was probably in denial. She didn't like no versus being like.
But it was confirmed.
Yeah, but having it kind of like shouted in front of the whole family is like, that's well the way to find out.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, an ongoing thing with her throughout the like whole Christmas was every day she'd be like, "Oh, we gotta wait to get the tree because like your father's coming tomorrow," and he never came. And then one day she's just like, "Fuck it, we're going to get the tree. Fuck that man."
Yeah. Her also getting headaches at like confrontation and like migraines and stuff, and it's like it's your anxiety. But you like the socially acceptable one is to say you have a headache.
But yeah, so it says that basically from the point after Andrew reaches out and stuff, she starts spending time with the grandmas and him and Dylan and hanging out and stuff. Yeah. And the whole family essentially invites her to Jack's bakery opening. They're all like, "No, we need you and Jack to get back together." And then she goes to the bakery opening and
like, I'll do it as friends, and then sees Jack.
Yeah, she's like, "I'll go to it as a friend and support her." And then like she gets there and then she's like, "Actually, I can't be friends." And she like confesses her love and everything in front of absolutely everybody. And Jack's all like, "No, I can't risk it with you again because you broke my heart twice already." And I'm like, "Bitch, that first time was on you." But fine.
Yeah.
Be petty. Be self-righteous. Your brother clocked you.
Yeah.
Anyway, also, the second time, if you had just not looked up her comic until she had a
the fact that they like looked up the comic and then like read it so quickly, I'm like, their conversation was like a couple minutes long, and they come back and like, we read the whole thing, and I'm like, okay.
Well, to be fair, the arrangement was probably only like,
yeah,
you only have to read the first chapter for that
summary,
to look bad.
Yeah. And she's like, we didn't get to the point, and I'm like, okay.
But yeah, so she's just like, "I can't do it." And then Elle's like, "All right, I'm gonna leave now." And then she goes home. But she had given Jack a gift, which was a painting or picture.
I don't know.
Some sort of artwork. A print, probably, because she's a digital artist. So it was probably a print of the warehouse before it became the bakery. And Jack was like so touched by this, she goes and is all like, "Okay."
Drives after her.
Yeah, she's like, "You remember what this looked like from last year?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm an artist and I apparently have a photogenic memory." So
photographic.
Both. Her memory is so photogenic; it shows up really good in pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, a photographic memory, and then they get together, and that is the end of the book.
Yeah.
So, who was your favorite character, and why wasn't it Catherine?
It was Catherine. And I did also really like Andrew. I feel like he made like mistakes and has flaws, and then he's like, "Actually, I made a mistake and have flaws," and I'm like, "Oh, amazing." And then he wasn't involved with the main romance, which I found meh.
I love that, like, Andrew was like, "Yeah," he's like, "This could have worked, but at some point I started thinking you of my sister, and it got weird." And she's like, "It's okay, me too."
He's like, "My sister wife, wait." I'm like,
"Hold on. I just made it real weird."
Yeah, I think this is a good book. I don't particularly like the book. No, that's wrong. I did enjoy it, but it definitely reaffirms my like I prefer different genres where like people's lives are at stake and stuff. But I think it is a really good book.
Cozy contemporary. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is how I'm understanding. For your own reading preferences and for books that, like, if I were shopping for you, this is not a book that you would like to own. But if I was like, "Hey, I think this is a really good book that you might have a good time," especially if you're like super stressed.
Yeah.
Because like cozy things like this are really good when you're like stressed because the The stakes are low and stuff. So I could recommend you other books like this.
Today, when I started packing up my apartment because I'm moving, it was soothing. But yesterday, when I'm like, okay, I want something more, it was not. I was like, I'm dragging my feet through this. And then
you are notoriously a mood reader, so that makes sense.
I didn't particularly like the ending. I loved her like getting her shit together outside a romantic relationship. And I wish they left it as like, let's be friends and maybe something more one day. Or like maybe like an opportunity to grow. I almost even liked when she was turned down and was like, it's okay, I can handle this. Like, I'm not okay right now, but I will be. And then they got together on the bridge, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
If this wasn't a romance novel, I could agree with that, but it is a romance novel. If it didn't end with my couple being happy, I would have been pissed.
It is literally a romance novel, but I'm like,
I too am dissatisfied with how they reconnected, especially since, like, for me, I don't feel like Jack repented enough.
Yeah.
That's where I stand. I'm like, I feel like we could have devoted, like, instead of her going to the opening of Jack's Bakery the way that she did, I think I would have preferred Jack coming to her in a similar vein as Andrew did, and like fessing up to her own, like where she fucked up or how she could have handled things better, and then inviting her to the bakery, and then maybe the ending be the bakery opening, and like doing a book signing at the bakery opening. That would have been really cute. So then it's like both of them supporting each other and celebrating.
Like from the beginning, there was the line, "I'm not going to be your manic pixie dream butch," and then she was. The narrative treats her so weirdly. Like, she can do no wrong. When she's like actively making mistakes, like it's both like, oh, she's flawed and I accept that about her, but not like actually
not holding her accountable
for flaws. And it's like she doesn't feel like a person, or it doesn't feel like Ellie treats her like an actual human being, which is weird because like she is a fully thought out character, but it's just like, the framing of it was like a little, just gave me kind of a at points.
I do feel like Ellie idealizes her a little too much. Like I said, I think for me it's just because Ellie is held accountable so much harsher. And like I said, that's a really common thing in a lot of straight YAs where the main character is held to such a harsher standard than everyone else, or like they like the love interest can fuck up all they want, right? But the minute the main character fucks up, it is the end of the world. And I am never a fan of that. I'm like, no, I'm a fan of like characters being held accountable, but not like overly so, or not when the scales are so imbalanced.
Yeah, and I think
that's what it felt like here.
The wife thing we got over way too fucking quickly. Like, that was fucking insane. They're like, actually, no, that was the end of our relationship. Yeah. I'm like, what?
So earlier during the book talk, when I was like, I like that they avoided the one trope, and then I'm like, well, actually, they did, but it's the like, okay, so Hallmark movies. I don't know if you watch a lot of them, but I assume
my mother loves them, so yes, I do.
It's like, oh, she goes home and she meets the perfect dream guy, but he's got like the really shitty ex, or no, he's got the really shitty fiance that like he is actively dating and stuff, but has no like actual romantic interest in.
Or she has a boyfriend in the big city, and when she goes to the small town, she's she's emotionally cheating on her boyfriend, fiance.
Exactly. And so it's like, I want to ship you, but it's really hard to when you haven't like exited the other relationship. Yeah. And so I'm like, I thought they were not going to have that, but no, they did.
And it's not, Jack's not cheating, but or Jack's not cheating on her wife because her wife was like, I want you to go sleep with people, but she's almost cheating on Ellie. Like they're not a confirmed relationship, but the betrayal is akin to cheating because you are not as you presented yourself. You presented yourself as someone who's open and available to starting a relationship with just me, and you didn't mention the fact that you have this baggage.
Yeah, it's like
these other
told me. It's essentially like you told me that it was just me and you, that I was safe to open up to you. Like, and that's the other thing, is she like explained to her, she's like, I have to be safe and comfortable enough to be emotionally vulnerable and to be able to trust you. And Jack betrayed that, and then Ellie forgave it so fucking easy.
Yeah.
And then later she's all like, she throws it back in Ellie's face. And I'm like, at this point, I just want Andrew and Dylan to be in trouble with Ellie.
Yeah, but also,
I mean, not really, because there is like,
familial
relations. Like zero romantic. It's implied that kind of like all of the original romantic attraction and stuff was just because he was like Jack.
Yeah, I actually also. So you texted me as we were reading it, and you're like, I think you're gonna love this book and hate it. And I don't particularly like Ellie. Because she's not a good friend. And I know a lot of her reasons of not being a good friend is because of her anxiety. But with the like, you've never experienced failure in your life, girl, what the fuck? You're saying that to your friend? Like, is your head so far up your own ass? Like, even before we find out about the bar, like when she said that to Mare, I'm like, if one of my friends said that to me, or like said something akin to it, where it's like, you're clearly never, like, even if I don't, like, she didn't share the bar thing, but like, I exist, I am a human being. Like, I feel like Ellie has this, oh, woe is me, the rest of the world doesn't understand me mindset. Or she's like, with being invited out by Ari, and then being like, I can't go because of my anxiety, and so I'm lying, and then Ari's very understanding. I feel like that is a much more, like, but she lies, and I feel like that's much more balanced relationship than her and Mare, because it seems like she helped Mare once, and then Mare literally drops anything for her, and like is answering all these calls at whack ass hours, and it's like, you throughout we have one story of you once supported Mare, and then you never do anything for her. Like, it is not a equal, or even like, is such a lopsided relationship. And yes, there's times in friendships where it is lopsided, and that's totally okay. But it's just like, there's a weird, I don't like how she treats her friends. And then also the fact that I'm gonna finish. I have a lot in common with both Ellie and Jack. Like, I have ADHD that makes it hard sometimes to like focus on one project. I have hyperactive, which I think is what Jack's meant to have. So like the moving around, and then like in school being like, why aren't you getting, like, having issues in school because of it. And then also with Ellie, with anxiety, like I have anxiety as well. And then like the weird interactions with failure, not as bad as her, thank God, but definitely have, issues with that. And like having an artistic thing that you design your life around. Luckily, I have not lost love and passion for writing. And I think that's because I have good relationships with like other creatives and like people like Sam, like being able to not lose myself in it. So I understand a lot where she's coming from, which then makes me be like frustrated with her. And like a lot of the time she's just so woe is me. And that is the part where I'm like, I like you a lot of the times, and then sometimes I'm just like, I cannot stand you right now. And it sucks that a lot of those points are like in big climactic moments, because I'm like, I want to feel the feelings, but I'm just like, I'm just exasperated with them.
I think some of the issue there, because I 100% see where you are coming from, and is that what we are supposed to get from my interpretation is that before she got fired, before everything crumbled, she was doing really well. And she, like, not just professionally, but in her social life as well. Like, she and her friend, like, she and Mare were, like, good. She, like, I feel like their friendship was more balanced in college before everything happened. But, like, even though we're supposed to get that and we're told that, like you said, it's not really shown that way. I think it doesn't bother me because she realizes it, because basically Mare confronts her about it, and she's like, hey, you've been a really shitty friend, and what you're saying to me right now is really shitty. Like you are actively being a bad friend right now, and I don't appreciate it, because like I literally, like, I paid $1,000 to come here for you when I'm doing this, and it kind of like snaps her out of it. And then she's like, I'm going to be a better person, and I'm going to be a better friend, because I realize how bad a friend that I have been. And so I'm like, okay, either this is out of character for her, and that is why Mare is pointing it out, or she and Mare are such good friends that Mare feels comfortable being like, hey, this isn't okay. And like a good friend, she's like, let me address this behavior because my friend does deserve better. And so I'm like, that shows a lot of potential for growth and stuff. So like,
absolutely. I just wish it came much earlier in the book. It just felt like we spent so much time with this woman, and it was kind of like exhausting. Also, the fact that her life, I think she graduated college and lost herself, because or like somewhere in college she lost herself, like when art became a chore instead of a passion, and she was unable to balance both. Like it being.
Do you remember how long she worked at the studio? Was it 3 months?
Like 3 months. She was a month in when she met Jack, and she was already crumbling. Like she started and she couldn't handle it. Which is like an awful way to say it, but it's true. Like she wasn't eating, sleep. Like she could not handle having a professional job in that sense. And it just, she felt so lucky also, like the fact that she, like, I was a gifted kid. I wasn't an academically gifted kid, but like with writing, everyone was like, oh my god, you're so good at writing, oh my god, you're so good for your age, you published at 15. And I hit that wall much sooner than she did, and most of the kid, like people, my contemporaries or other gifted kids or blah blah blah, who are really good at something, hit that wall much sooner. So I think some of my sympathy was like, girl, you got by this long without hitting your wall. Like you got a fully developed brain before you hit your wall.
Wait, how old is she?
She was like 23, which is not fully developed, but
okay, that's what I thought. But I was like, wait, did I miss?
No, still fully older than I am. Like you didn't hit it at 17. Like you could drive. No.
Okay, yes. To be fair, most gifted kids don't hit it until college, but you went to a special art school, so you're.
No, I hit it in high school. I hit it in high school, but which was just like normal public school. But I'm like, with academics, it like she got the full spread. She was doing well in academics and art and a bunch of different places, and I'm like, this is great for you. But also part of this is fucking jealousy.
You're like, part of it is I'm just petty, and that's
like, and then she got a master's in what she wanted and did fantastic there, even though it was hard. And then she gets into the real world and she can't handle it. I'm like, you failed to build up the skills that like gets you to function in life. And that's
in mild
fault.
In mild defense of this, like, for example, you and I had parents who built foundations for us to exist in the real world.
That was my next point. And I think part of it that bothered me isn't like stepping back and looking as a character. It felt unrealistic, or just like, oh, come on, because she didn't have the skills or the support systems. It felt just like it took until college for her to hit, or post college, whatever, for her to hit that wall. It just felt kind of like it disconnected me from her narrative and her story and her growth some, because I'm like, this feels to me, in my experiences and the experiences of other people in this situation that I've known, very unrealistic, which made me kind of like dislike her. Because it's this like much easier, or not easier, but like a smoother way. Also the fact that, like, I know the whole story is like, oh yeah, and she has this weird complex about failing, that she got let go of one job and just, as far as we know, never fucking applied to another animation job. I was just like, girl, what? So yeah, anyways.
Which, no, that's a really, okay, I think it brings us into a really good discussion point, because like when you think about that, you're reacting purely as a reader and based on your own experiences and stuff, right? So, which also, I just want to make it clear that in explaining or talking about Ellie's character and stuff, it's just for discussion. I don't particularly care if you like her or not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm neutral with Ellie at most. I enjoy how her character arc was portrayed and written, but like on a personal level, I could take or leave Ellie. It's not like Andrew or Catherine. But see, you like you said, for you it felt really unrealistic, but like for me, that was like most of my generation. Most of my generation was perfectly fine through high school, and then they were told like college is where it's at, and then college is where they got hit with the reality bomb and they didn't know what to do. Even if they had supportive parents who built a foundation, because college for millennials was so different than it had been for previous generations. Like, loans were new, student debt was fairly new, and all of that. So it's like, for me, I'm just like, yeah, that's how a lot of my peers were.
She didn't hit her wall. Like, she had the beginnings of the crumbling or whatever, but she didn't hit her wall until she's out in the professional world, which I thought was like, she went through undergrad and a master's degree, and then like had some issues with, like, not really issues with professors, but like had to work really hard, but like didn't hit the wall until professional world. And I just like, with the character we've been presented with, I found it hard to believe that she lasted that long. But yeah, I do want to, like,
I don't, because her professors also gave her validation. Because and she says that she's like, in college and stuff, she still did well, she still excelled, so she was still getting outside validation from her professors and her peers. When she stepped into the working world and all of a sudden she was getting more criticism than she was praise, is when she crumbled, because she no longer had that outside validation to sustain herself.
Yeah.
Which shows just how thin her entire existence had been before then, really.
I think maybe it's me finding it hard to believe that no one in a position of power was ever like, you're bad at this. Like, there was not one professor, or even in like out of your core curriculum, like, are you really just so perfect that you had never felt any criticism?
What it reminds me of is, I had this one friend, oh my god, I love, okay, we just saw, I was good friends with her and I really did adore her, but in art class I fucking hated her existence, and she knew this, because we're like learning to use oil pastels, right? It is the first fucking day any of us have used oil pastels, and we're sitting here, most of us, we're struggling with our field of grass. She's over there, got this full-on mural of this like Kingdom Hearts-esque anime thing going on. Cause she just, her and oil pastels. I'm like, have you been fucking practicing in secret? She's like, no.
Sounds like
This fucking bitch. This oil pastel savant over here. So
yeah.
and so
No,
there'd be some people like that.
I understand that, but I'm like, and there wasn't one random professor that was excessively cruel that hated your success, so told you were bad. Like, no, it just seemed like no one, never, not even a classmate. Like, it just that kind of like, oh, I was always told like.
She doesn't say no one ever did. She was just saying she got praise and stuff, and so just apparently just getting praise was enough for her to be like, okay, no, I'm good, it's fine.
Yeah. It just that her supposed perfection or like breezing through this one aspect until it didn't.
Hold on, I feel exaggeration and hyperbole have entered the chat because she never says she was perfect. She just said she was really good or highly skilled, and therefore she got praise and everything, and so she worked hard to be better and to get better. But she felt as if she could do nothing right in her job, which is very different from, oh, I've been getting criticized once or twice, right? It's
yes. The way I read it, at least, was she hadn't faced serious criticism before, and I just find that hard to believe. Like even from like professors and stuff like that.
That's not the feeling I got. It was the feeling I got was just that like she was good enough that she kept getting praise, and that so she was like because she never says she was like the top. She didn't graduate valedictorian. It just says that she did really good, that she was very skilled and everything. And like even before the arrangement, her webtoons were still like they were super popular. They were just like, just average, right?
I do think she's good at art.
I'm just saying, so like I don't feel like the book presented it as if she is this genius or she's this amazing savant that like has never been criticized ever. No, I just think she got into an animation studio and could not handle the stress, and like in her mind, I think she blew up. Like every criticism felt like a failure. And so she got in her head and she started to do worse and worse and worse. And so when it was time to let go of somebody, she was fired and she was taking it hard. And it's been less than like 6 months. And that can be a hard thing to deal with. And also animation studios are notorious for being highly competitive and toxic work environments.
Yeah. So. No, I think it was the way it seemed to me like people, I don't think she was perfect, but the way it seemed that she went through life was it just seemed odd. It wasn't like a big thing for me as I was reading, but it did like leave me on the wrong foot for when she ran into things. And then she was like, oh, I'm not good at drawing, after she like draws a hand, like not even paying attention to what she's doing. And I think that's great that she has this blah blah blah. But I was like, it was pulling because it hit so close to home, having it pull on the threads of suspended belief or suspend your disbelief. I was having trouble with that because I'm like, okay, I know really like good artists and stuff, and the professors will go harder on them because they know they can do better. Like actual artists or like dancers, and like they're having, I don't know. That was just kind of my. It was just one little thing that made me be like, okay. But I didn't hate the book or anything like that because of it. I just
you just said that you don't like Ellie, and that's
she frustrated me at points, but I mean Jack did too. it's weird having the two leads be like what I felt as some of the weakest characters.
Let me tell you, that is so common in books in general for me that most of the time my favorite character is the side character.
Yeah.
Like it is exceptionally rare when I'm like, yeah, my favorite character, main character.
Yeah, I think I would like literally prefer to read this book from Andrew's perspective. No,
but then we wouldn't like Andrew and Dylan. We'd like these two.
I don't know if we would.
I think okay, so my theory a little bit with it is that like when you spend so much time in a specific character's head, sometimes it becomes harder because you come in and out of it with like not you specifically, but like you as in the generalized person comes in and out of it with like how much they can relate to that readers don't need to be able to suspend disbelief. They need to be able to suspend relatability. Because like if you go into it reading and you start like relating, right? But then suddenly something comes up that you can't relate to, it takes one out. But if you're going in and you can't relate to this character at all to begin with, it like you start reading it, you just empathize. You just try to understand the character, right? At least that's how it is for me. The less I relate to a main character, generally, the more I can enjoy the character. But if I start relating to a main character, then there are parts, like, when I stop being able to relate to them, I'm like, I don't know about you.
I think it might be less relate, but, like, if I think about it, like, oh, if this was my friend, I wouldn't really want to be friends with her. Like,
I've had friends like Ellie. Maybe that's why I'm okay.
Your friend.
I mean, all of my friends abandoned me. Kidding?
Yes, she would too. No.
Yes, actually, I am still very good friends with
the
Ellie-ish character. So,
not,
you know.
And a completely different note. I thought Dylan reminded me of you. Yeah.
I can see that. I didn't relate to Dylan, but I can see that.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is you? Why the fuck haven't I heard about you?
But I was like, hey, that was a very Sam, the like knife on the neck and then being like, yeah, and?
I'm a teacher. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Every time I enter my classroom, my entire class goes, cut my life into pieces.
Also the like not tolerating whatever bullshit's going on with Andrew. Just like, no, tell me what's going on.
No, I need to know. What the fuck?
But I'm seeing through whatever lie you're spitting right now.
Your poker face, non-existent.
Yeah. I thought the sex was fine. It was I think well written, but it was just I think I was divided or the apprehension looming betrayal and reveal that was gonna happen. I'm like, I hate that they had sex before they cleared the air. Like I was being okay with them like kissing beforehand because it's a romance novel, but the fact that they had sex, I was like, this feels.
I want to point out what I felt was a really weird scene, and I need it known that my family and I are weirdly close, according to a lot of people. Like, but rooting for your brother's fiance to kiss his little sister? No. I don't care how drunk you are. That's no.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That was weird. Especially because you know they're both queer. Like it and it's not like a kiss on the cheek or anything.
No,
like,
they pull it out. Like,
what?
It's one thing if everyone was in on the fact that it was a fake engagement, but everybody thought, except Mima, thought it was real.
Yeah.
Like,
that was so weird. And then it's like, are we going to talk about the kiss? And I'm like, either it's a weird thing for you guys or it's a normal thing. It cannot be both.
Well, So I will say it's like when we want to talk about the kiss with Jack, I feel like she only did that because it went from a simple kiss to a makeout.
Yeah. Well, you
Otherwise, it seemed like that would have been a normal thing, and I'm just like, maybe the Mimas were having an affair.
I wish we had a.
You know, I want the story from Mima's point of view.
Yeah, I wish we had a conversation that, like, I don't know, because from Ellie's perspective, she'd have to be eavesdropping or something between Andrew and Jack, because it just seemed weird that there's so many secrets and like everything between the siblings, and it's like you didn't sit your brother down and be like, "Yo, what the fuck? Why do you want me to kiss your fiance?" Or like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're
like when she was like, I don't want to tell Andrew, I'm like, the cheater doesn't want Andrew to know about the past.
Yeah.
Ellie, red flag number 2. Because
yeah, and like just the continuous. I don't know.
It's one of those things where like Jack's all like, oh yeah, I don't want to make it weird or hurt my brother, and I'm like, you're encouraging your brother's future wife to hide things from him.
Yeah.
Would you want her to hide this from him if it wasn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. What if it was Dylan? Like, would you want the same thing? Like it just the weird secrets between the siblings I didn't like. Also like the hooking up with he's hooking up with his sister's best friend.
I will also say I want Dylan. I want them to also be judged by this.
Yes.
Because they hid this from Jack.
And I'm like, you guys just need to, you just need to sort your shit out before like people are having sex and getting engaged.
Did I find it believable and realistic that these people had all these secrets? Yes, of course. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah, but then you can't come around and be like, I'm judging you for this. It's like, good bitch, you did the what? Same thing. You're also full of shit. So that was my opinions.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that bit, but
so all right. I will say that my feelings on this book are also that for me, I like the book and I enjoy the book. I enjoy the book for like the romance in it for me is subpar, but the rest of it makes it a really good book. And I selected this book for December because it was one of our summer books. You were complaining about all the straight erotic romance I was making you read, and I was like, I'll find a queer romance.
No, I just don't really like reading erotic romance.
This is not an erotic romance either. But I was just saying this happened to just be I selected this one as my I'm sorry I made you read all of the
I was sitting there being like, why are you having sex right now? Why are you getting horny? We have things to do. And this, even though it's not even a life and death situation, I'm like, what are you doing?
They gotta keep warm, CB. They were snowed in.
Oh my god. I can't even with them being snowed in the Sing's cabin and then just not knowing how to do shit. I was whew. And they're like, oh, let's get up close and personal to chop some firewood. And I'm like, literally, I'm like, you're going to.
Like you're gonna cut somebody's foot off.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's okay. It's literally not. Or like, oh, what are we gonna do? I missed everything.
I like how Jack was offended because Elle's like, oh, you can cut the fireworks. She's like, why do I have to do it? Because you have the swimmer's build, motherfucker. Which of us has muscles?
Yeah, but like we enter into a cabin. It's colder in there. Okay. The furnace is gonna take forever to turn on. Okay, the water's off. Okay, there's a fireplace. Anyway, moving on. And I'm like, make a fucking fire! Make a fire! you're dry.
Oh,
And also like,
no.
oh, I'm so like covered in water and damp. And I'm like, you're wearing snow gear. You shouldn't be damp underneath it. Like, that's not how snow gear works.
It is not.
And then them being like, oh, let's go like sexy before we dry it off. And I'm like, no, dry off, then you can be sexy.
Where all of my suspension of disbelief has to be. Like, I save it up for these moments.
Because I have in my book we're cold, we need to cuddle for warmth, and then like feel sexy after that. And I'm like, no, but it is after the danger has passed. I've read too many books where it's like, let's be sexy when our lives are on the line from the elements.
In mild, and I mean the mildest of defense,
Okay.
allosexuals, there is a connection between the increase of adrenaline in dangerous situations with blood flow and sex drive. Yeah, so like it's not unrealistic to get horny when your life is in danger. It's just a bad idea to act on it.
Yes, and that's when I come and judge, and I'm like, no, be rational, make good decisions, or don't.
It's really hard to be rational when your life's in danger.
Stop making decisions with your metaphorical dicks. But yeah,
with their literal clits.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole scene, I was like, I can't even with you guys right now.
Also, this book is called Kiss Her Once for Me. They mentioned the song Kiss Her Once for Me once, but you know what song kept playing? Last Christmas. I can't.
Yeah. And also Call Me Maybe came up more than Kiss Her Once for Me.
That one only came up twice.
Yes, but it still came up more than Kiss Her Once for Me.
Double the amount.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was trying to figure out how the title worked in, so I was like, oh, maybe they don't end up together, or I'm like, who's kissing who once? And I'm like, they're siblings, so you wouldn't be Kiss Her Once for Me, and the other person uses they them pronouns, so it wouldn't be like Ellie saying to Jack, also it wouldn't be for me. And I'm like, I don't understand this title. Like literally me trying to figure out as I'm reading the book. And I'm like,
okay, I will say I understand the title, but I will have to explain it. You know the song Holly Jolly Christmas?
Yes.
The lyric is from that song.
Okay.
And the idea is like it's an, I don't know how prevalent this saying is anymore, but it's when you're talking to somebody you don't see a lot and you're like, oh, how is so and so doing? How are the kids doing? Like, give them the kids for me.
Like that. Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident the title is supposed to bring up that reminiscence of holiday closeness and everything. And it's like, just give them affection for me. Just show them care for me. Yeah. And it's just because it's a romance novel, they're using the kisser because.
I just don't think it was a good choice. Even with that choice. I also don't like the covers that look like this. That
is beyond the control of anyone but the publishers.
Yes. And this is, I guess, Simon & Schuster. I don't love this type of cover. Also, their feet look good.
She did the title. In the
thing. I've moved on.
Oh, I thought, look, what I heard, which is obviously a mishearing, but what I heard was you were like, oh, I guess the cover isn't her child, or isn't her. I guess the cover isn't her fault. Maybe not the title either.
Oh, no. I don't know what it. I said also their shoes look weird. Their feet look weird.
Yeah, they're at a weird angle. They're like her.
Also, her legs are weird. I don't know. As I was listening
back, she's got her legs crossed and she's crossing them at a downward angle, but her feet are turned.
I understand what's supposed to be happening. I just don't like it. So
it was weird regardless.
We've gotten to the point of the stream where I start nitpicking things.
Yeah, where CV's like, I'm angry now and I'm going to be mean to everything. Yeah. No. Catherine, remember Catherine and how she has done.
I recommend this book to someone who likes cozy romances. Yeah, I'll probably go text my group chat of lesbians and being like, "Hey, have you guys read this?" Would I read it again? No.
Oh, also, the main character is bisexual, and they discuss bisexual erasure, and
Yeah.
I always appreciate that because her mom was like,
You're straight now because you're marrying a man. So
let me tell you, if she had a better relationship with her mom, when her mom was like, oh, like, because she's like, oh, what happened to your current husband? And she's like, oh, he left. And she's like, maybe I'll give women a try like you did. If she had like a better relationship with her mom, I could see that being like a funny mother-daughter joke. But no, she has a terrible relationship with her mother, so her mom was being very biphobic in that moment.
Yeah.
And the book like points that out, and I always appreciate when bi erasure is discussed.
She was also fully went like, "Oh, you're not bisexual anymore because you're getting married," and her being like, "No,
That's not how that works.
Bisexual, no matter who I marry." And I've seen that a lot. Where like, if you're bisexual and you're a woman and you married a woman, then you're a lesbian. It's like, no, you're literally, or you're like dating a lesbian, then you're a lesbian, or dating a woman, then you're a lesbian. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
if you're dating a woman, you're a lesbian. If you're dating a guy, you're straight. That's not how it works.
It's not. So yeah. Next book.
I'm thinking if there was anything else I wanted to discuss. I don't think so. I think this was it.
Our next book is my choice, which is Dragons of Autumn Twilight. There's no sex in this book. I don't think so.
I don't think the Dragonlance series has sex scenes.
Actually,
do it?
I don't think in book one.
Okay.
I don't know. There is romance, like subplots, very, very subplots.
Well, yeah. A lot of older fantasy novels have romantic subplots. They just don't get steamy.
I also read these when I was 9, maybe 8. So
read them and then come back in January and you'd be like, actually, I hate this book.
Yeah. No, it is going to be an old man fantasy, but I, as far as I know, enjoy old man fantasies. I loved these books as a kid. I'm pretty sure they're written by 2 women, or if not,
old
at least
man fantasy to Sam is CB to contemporary romance.
Yeah, it's Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, which I'm pretty sure at least one of those is a woman. And their Dragonlance is the main 3 books, and there's a shit ton of in the world. And I also, like, ages 8 through 12 or 13, read so much of this world. Because my dad had a bunch of the side books, and then the libraries did. And so
my dad had a bunch of them too.
Definitely on how I started writing was inspired by these books. Like the style that I tried, and also like some characters are the same. And so I'm curious to see what how much like I can be like, oh wow, that influenced me a lot, or I can be like, wow, that's really dumb.
My dad also had a lot of the Dragonlance series, but I didn't read them because old man fantasy.
Yeah.
Old man fantasy and I have been enemies since my childhood.
So I enjoy old man fantasy.
I know. As I said, Sam is to old man fantasy as CB is to contemporary romance. We can see the appeal. We understand this is good. This does not mean we're going to pick one up on our own.
So I'm dragging Sam to this one. If I remember, a lot of fun world building.
If you haven't read it by next year, my next December pick, I already know what it's going to be.
Are we reading the next Raven Boys?
In January.
Okay, cool.
Shh, but we're not supposed to tell people that yet.
Oh, sorry. I think we talked about it on stream. That ship has left. Okay.
Look, anybody who clicks the schedule, I put things in there.
Yeah. If you want to be behind this. Anyways, I'm going to go home. There's not an audiobook for this and see if I can get... I know my family has the 3 books in one, but it's literally like this big. So I'm going to see if we have... I think we have the individual novels as well. So yeah, that's my pick.
Woohoo! Thank you for joining us. This
Oh, right.
technically, I think it might have been last stream. No, I'm gonna claim it's this stream. I think since it's an odd number, we've been doing book talk for a year now.
Hey.
So thank you for joining us on our first year of book talk.
Woo.
We started last December, so
Wow.
it's been fun. We originally started with once a month and then decided twice a month, so we could get through book series faster. That was the motivation. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening and join us, and we look forward to another year of gushing over, criticizing, defending, and hear me outing.
Just fighting each other over our literary decisions.
I don't think we've actually gotten into a fight over any of the books so much as we're just like, listen, all right, you might be right, but
I remembered it differently.
I don't care.
Oh, scum villain, my beloved. Anyways,